Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video I'm going to show you how to play Atari 5200 on your 400 Mini. It's not quite as straightforward as it might seem, so I'm going to go through the details and show you how to get started. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Okay guys, before you get started, you obviously need to get your games added to your USB stick. Now, I've probably created a few different folders here. I've got a 5200 folder just to separate them from the other 400, 800 XE games that are on the USB stick. You can sort things into folders if you like, it doesn't really matter. It probably would be very helpful if you do that. Now, the 400 Mini only accepts certain file types, so there's a list on the actual document that's on the 400 Mini website. I'll leave that link in the description so you can look at them. And one of the things that's quite apparent is that for 5200 games you can't use the standard A52 file type. You can only use maybe ROM or bin. Those are the files that seem to work on the 400 Mini. Now, I had some difficulties with some of the games. Some of them wouldn't load, some wouldn't work. So you might have to have a little bit of trial and error, but definitely need to be bin type to get somewhere and play these games. Now, you look at this folder, this has also the CFG sort of file type as well. That's a config or configuration. You make any changes to the sort of title that you're playing, obviously you convert it to make sure it's playing 5200. It creates that config file, so you can just ignore that within there. It won't actually show once you put it into the Mini. But I've got a few games here I'm going to try and play, and I'll go through some of the options that you need to make sure are selected before the game will actually work properly, and a few other things relating to the controllers. So let's get stuck in, let's get this USB stick into the Mini, and we'll go through a few things and play some of these games. Okay guys, before we get started, let's have a look at some of the settings. So choose your USB stick. Obviously I'm in the actual 5200 folder, but obviously you might have a slightly different setup. These are all the standard games, but obviously having that 5200 folder makes it a lot easier to access the right games that we're trying to play here, and it makes a lot more sense. So all the games are showing up. If you had .a52 files here, they probably wouldn't show, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest. I'm not sure if you can actually convert the games, the .a52, into bin or ROM files. I tried a few just renaming them basically, and they don't actually work, which probably didn't surprise me a lot, but I'm sure there must be a converter out there or a way of actually doing it to get them to work. So if you do know, guys, how to do that, please add some comments and let me know, and I'll try and trial that in a future video. But right now I've got some bin files, so let's try play some of these for starters. So what to do is you choose the file that you want. You need to go to the game settings by pressing the menu button, and you need to make sure that you have chosen the Atari model to be the 5200 model. If you don't choose that, the game most likely will not load. So choose that, and then you've got some other options here down the bottom. Now you might have to mess around with some of the speed, the sensitivity of the joystick, for example, because it may differ from game to game. So I experienced a few times where it was oversensitive and it probably wasn't working, because obviously the 5200 stick was a little bit different to the standard controller we have on the 400 Mini here. You can map the controls. You probably have to do this for some of the games if you want to. If you just press the fire button to edit what you want your controller to control relating to the 5200 game. So you might have to mess around with that. I would probably recommend it. Some games are straightforward and work automatically. Others you'll have to spend some time configuring. Once you've finalised your settings, just press the start and the game should automatically load. Now guys, as I said, you'll probably have to mess around with the settings, because sometimes the controls are way oversensitive and it's almost uncontrollable within the game. It depends whether you're using gamepad, the joystick, it's up to you what you actually use. But you're probably going to have to experiment and mess about with those settings and probably the button configuration to get the best out of these games. Some games do work better than others, so let's get stuck into some of the games now that you know how to actually play them. So guys, that's 5200 working on the 400 Mini. Certainly a mixed bag for me. Some games work better than others. Some of the controls were a little bit oversensitive, and some of the games you certainly need to spend some time probably configuring the controls before you actually get stuck in. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.